now officially tuned into the live conversation, a hangout with Carson and Andre, or Andre and Carson. Andre, say what up.
What up?
You're now tuned into the first ever public broadcast of the ELRN Nation's the Christian Leaders Research Network online show called Leader Power. See if we can put a graphic on the screen when we do that. The concept came out of a meeting about a year ago. Tried to put with really interesting Y people from around the country that we thought that you, an emerging leader, would really appreciate. Because we couldn't necessarily have conversations at one time, we thought just try to like have a conversation with somebody that we think is public, well, is broadcast across the country, and then at the same time, let's invite people to interact with Twitter, with hashtag ELR. Now, one N. So it's ELR Nation. Andre and myself will be co-hosting these shows. We'll have one about every quarter, and hopefully introduce you to somebody we think is really awesome, and we're going to keep it brief. Andre, you have anything you want to say, my friend?
Hey, all I'm saying is we've been ready to do this for quite some time. I hope you all enjoy it. Please definitely tweet us any feedback you have, any questions, any concerns, any comments. We'll welcome it all. We want this to be the best show on TV.
Or not on TV, a Google has, and we're live on YouTube. And we think
This is
nobody.
This is me.
This is all us. We're really excited today to be bringing you a great leader that I've just had the fortunate pleasure of meeting, but Andre's had the pleasure of working with. We are absolutely excited to welcome. Why don't you tell us a little about who you are and what you do?
Awesome. Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up if you can.
We got
Yeah,
you.
good. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Andre and Carson for having me on. This is I think we said earlier, this is breaking new ground, new territory. It's exciting times for the movement. We're like, pioneers when it comes to you guys are pioneers when it comes to broadcasting, and podcasting and all this awesome stuff. So thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this. So like you said, my name is Brent Pentenburg, and I've been in the Y movement for 10 plus years now. Started when I was 15. And who am I? I think really when it first comes and boils down to it, I am a man that has been given and saved by grace of God. I'm a husband to my wonderful wife, Johnny, for coming up on 5 years now. And I think what I do and what I aim to accomplish each and every day is to inspire hope, to help others, and to in essence make the world a better place each and every day.
Thank you.
Here, why don't you tell me what you and like if you could tell us about your feel like you really
I'm sorry, Carson, I didn't catch that.
Oh, hey, first broadcast, technical difficulty, don't worry. Like I said, it's what do you do? Like, what do you really do? At the end of the day, like, when you think about what you nice shirts you got over there, what do you feel like you're really contributing to the world through the Y and our organization?
Yeah. So I think for myself and what I truly do each and every day, and I think for us leaders in the movement, we have to check ourselves. But at the end of the day, if and I truly believe this 100%, that if I'm not leading and inspiring a motivational and transformational change in a person's life, then I'm not really doing what I am set out to do in my position, in my leadership, and in my part in the movement. And I think that's where I kind of pride myself, and as well as I love the opportunity to in essence provide a transformational opportunity for someone to experience life through the why, and end up doing something that they knew or didn't know that they could do. And I think for myself, that has really anchored and grounded me in what it is that I do each and every day, and has prioritized my work as well as my time.
You satisfied, Carson? Like my answer?
I think that's what it is. I'm so glad we picked you for our first speaker on the conversation. All right, Andre.
All right. So, Brent, my question for you is really when you think about the things that you do and what you've been fortunate enough to be a part of in the YMCA. I know a little bit of your history. You started as a young person, and now you're a leader in your organization. What would you say is your favorite in your position as a leader in the Y movement?
Um, I guess where I get the most joy, and where I get most excited about, and where I get fired up and excited is when I do and when I see, whether it be a member, a staff member, a volunteer member, a community member, um, uh, get fired up and catch that hope themselves. And I think what we do, and where I take the joy, and where I see the joy in my work, is when we as a Y family and as a Y community inspire hope in others. And I think with our discussion today, I'll hit on a couple other points of why hope is so important. And when we think about our world today, and we think about the negative messages, the positive messages, and all the communication that we get each and every day, how often is it that we're in poured down or drenched with negative messaging? And I think as a Y, we have an opportunity, as well as we have the responsibility to be agents of hope in our community. And I think for myself, is when I see that hope come to life in others, whether it be someone on my staff team, or our staff team, or a volunteer or a member, that is what excites me the most, knowing that they have more in that moment than they had walking in the door before, or being a part of that program, or having that conversation before. They are now walking away from that conversation or that experience, or the why different, and having more energy and more optimism on life.
Okay. Do you, and I knew you didn't prep that answer, so I'm about to throw you a little curveball here, but this is what we do. Do you have a specific example that you are comfortable sharing with us as to when you see that hope come to life? Whether it's with a staff member, whether it's with a volunteer member, you've really been able to say, this is a tangible example that I can use and say, yep, this is what I mean when I say, hope coming alive.
Yeah. Well, the most impactful example as a recent for me and Andre, I think I have shared this with you before, but to everyone listening, my wife and I are foster parents of three. or were. They went back to their mama. We had them for 6 months, and that was kind of our first time for my wife and I as you know, trying out this parent thing. And so, you know, half the time I had no idea what I was supposed to do or what I was going to do. I was, in essence, I was surviving. And I think for me, I for the first time I got to experience the why as a parental figure for these three wonderful kids. And I'll never forget the time that we had the oldest. Her name was Jazzy. In one of our programs here, it's called Little Learners, which is it's a full day child care program. And during that time, we focus on what the Y focuses on. We focus on character development, spiritual development. We focus on physical activity and social well-being and educational programs. And for the first time, I was able to have a direct, I guess, a direct picture of that child coming home to me and telling me about what our programs and what our staff team and what our experience that we were providing. And I'll never forget when she came home and was singing songs about Jesus, or was telling me that she was, you know, learning how to share with others, or she made some friends, and I was blown away, because I never experienced that as a parental figure. And I hope that through our work every day that we are giving what I felt in that moment. I hope that we're giving parents, adults, children that same experience, that same transformational hope that I experienced in that moment.
Thank you for sharing that, Brent. Go ahead, Carson.
I'm trying to be the director, catch Andre's reaction to the conversation. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you folks out there in TV, you can see this broadcast, the wide angle. I hope that you're able to truly capture or feel like you're part of this conversation. You know, like we said, we are here representing the Emerging Leaders Resource Network. There are a lot of young people who will probably watch this video, not even necessarily young people, the Emerging Leaders Resource Network. We realize that some of our members are actually going to be people that are maybe in their career for a little while and maybe felt stuck or looking for opportunities. Just reflecting on your and how you've achieved your role, what do you think are some of the obstacles that a young leader has to navigate nowadays in the current movement? As you know, things change very quickly. Obviously, technology is evidenced by what we're doing right now. But like, just in the general landscape of things, what are the obstacles you feel like you've had to navigate for that you navigate in career?
Yeah, as a young leader, I guess some of the challenges that I had faced was being put into leadership roles and positions, and even today, being a young professional and having, I think the biggest challenge as young professionals that we face is winning the respect and the rapport of our team. We don't really come with a plethora of experiences or sheet of functional expertise. And so what the challenge is showing and demonstrating to the people that are around you what you can contribute. And for young professionals, I think what we got to focus on is are we consuming or are we contributing? And are we contributing more than those that are you giving more, or are you taking more? And I think that the way that I have really tried to focus on building the respect and rapport of those that are around me was to really focus on how can I serve you, and I wanted to serve them relentlessly. I wanted to do anything and everything that I could to make them as successful as possible. And I think as a young professional, that will break a lot of barriers when you're kind of starting off your career, because people want to know, and they want to see what kind of agenda do you have. Are you here for your own self-interest, or are you here for the interest of others? And I read you like a book, and if you're there for yourself, or for your own good and development, then people see right, for us, that just the mindset and the waking up of every day, focusing on how I can contribute to my team, to my organization, to those around me, to our members, to our community, will go a whole lot further than anything else that we really realize. Because nothing breaks down barriers than you or I. When they talk, especially in today, when we have all kinds of media messaging around the racial divide in our country. Our research shows and demonstrates that when two different groups, whether it be religions, whether it be race, whether it be genders, whether it be organizations, when they get together to serve, and when they get together to do something that they have a common goal to do, and directly benefit someone else rather than themselves, it breaks down all kinds of walls and all kinds of barriers. So the same is for our professional development and well-being, for us to, as leaders, to look at and relentlessly pursue every kind of opportunity that we have to serve one another.
That was great. Serving. It seems to be true desire to be relentless about that. I'll ask you a question, and it's a little bit off topic. As being relentless, do you ever think that being somebody can be perceived as relentless, or have to pick our battles in situations?
Carson, I'm so sorry. I got that you were asking me something about being relentless, but I can't pick up on the other half.
All right, so hey, like you said, technical difficulties. We'll get. So I guess it boils down to: do you never nowadays? People are very, very aggressive. They want things now. A lot of folks, not all of us. We don't always deal well with having to hold on or wait or be strategic. Do you think there's a place for that? And if so, like, how do you kind of keep your tenacity?
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying, and I caught little bits and pieces, and I think I do understand. And what I would say to your question is I often ask our team, and we focus on what do we make the most noise about in life, and where are you allowing people to see your passion, and to see where you are spending your time, and to see where you're spending your energy. And I believe that that for us, oftentimes we can make the most noise, and people can see the most passion out of us for things that really don't matter in life. So for anyone at work, do people see that that you're fired up about that someone didn't put paper in the copier after and ran it down on zero or empty, and that's the only time that they really see you get fired up and motivated about solving a problem or doing something, or what in the world, why don't you put the paper back? See that your passion is about serving and leading others, and quality of the experience of the people that we are serving in our community. And I think for us, when we're talking about how to go about leadership, it's so important that we have our priorities, and we're spending our energy in entertaining the things that actually matter at the end of the day. And I think there's so much energy in our day to day that is spent over things that when all said and done, don't make a difference.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
All right. So, Brent, something that we've spent a lot of time talking about is this concept of momentum, and I would love to get your take on it in terms, and more on this momentum for those in our audience that don't necessarily know what specifically we mean in this about what is momentum. So, one, I'd love to hear what your definition of momentum is in the context of professionalism, the YMCA movement, our commitment to strengthen the community around us. So that question, then follow that with your take on those who create it and those who just write it.
Yeah, definitely. I believe that to answer your question directly, what is this idea, and how does it apply to an organization? And as you said, we've been talking about this for quite some time as an organization, and I would encourage your teams and your staff and volunteers to have the same discussion. What is it? What does this momentum? What does this mean? And do we have momentum as an organization? Or do we make it happen, or is at the essence, and I had alluded to this a little bit earlier, it's hope for a better tomorrow. And so how are we hoping for a better tomorrow in our programs, or in our services, or in our organization, or in our development of volunteers, or in our development of staff? What are we doing that and what are we believing that that's today? And I've kind of this quote has stuck with me for quite some time, is that you don't get to rule your beliefs rule you. And what you believe in and how you believe it will dictate your actions and dictate where you spend your time and where you spend your energy. So how often is it that you walk into a conversation giving someone a goal, or giving someone an objective, or as a team you're talking about this and talking about goals and talking about aspirations, but yet not everyone believes it, or you yourself feel like it's not attainable. And I think as leaders we have got to believe everything that we do. And my thought, and I guess a principle that I believe that I live by and that we should live by is don't spend your time on anything that you don't believe in. And I think at the essence of momentum is this idea of hope. And hope is a belief, and at the core of momentum, if you don't believe in where you're going and where you're headed, then you can never sustain and create momentum.
Okay.
And then to answer your question of those who write it and those that create it, would almost be the same as if you're creating momentum, you're making better in the future. And oftentimes that's we feel like we can only make something better a year later. But how are you making it better today than it was yesterday? How are you making it better a week ago that was today? And how are you making it better from month to month and year to year? And those are the people, those are the individuals that create momentum. They walk into a meeting, they walk into a conversation, they walk into an environment, and they make it better by what they bring to the table, by what they start doing, what they start working for, the energy, the positive messages, the encouragement that they bring to the table. And then there are, like you're saying, there's those that ride it, Andre, and I think for us as an organization, we've been very committed to calling those individuals out, those individuals that aren't contributing. That, you know, we have the metaphor here that we're all in a boat and we're rowing and we're paddling, down the river, and there's some that just put their paddles in the water and don't put any effort into it. There's some that row the opposite way. And I think you all and we all and we all have a choice of where we go each day. We all have decisions to make. And what decisions are you making? Are you supporting the vision of your organization, of your team? Are you rowing in the right direction? Or are you kind of trying to row against the tide, or against the team? Or are you simply just not doing anything, which I believe is probably just as, or if not even more dangerous than rowing in the opposite direction. And so we've kind of made a commitment to be very accountable to that as an organization, and we've invited the conversations for it doesn't matter who you are. If you're a frontline staff, you can call out a senior leader. If you're a senior leader, you call out frontline staff, or if you're in between, it doesn't matter. It's 360 degrees. We all are very open to this idea of if we're not contributing and rowing down with the team, then we need to have some conversations. And I think that's where we've created a very positive environment, because everybody knows the direction in which we're headed.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Brent. Carson?
Yeah. So, and keep in mind, I mean, I was going to ask you for one piece of honest advice, and I feel like you've given us. We really appreciate your feedback. Change it a little bit. Here, I'll share some. I recently something that changed in my life is that I get a lot of personal advice about my relationship now. A married folks do an awful lot. Let me ask you this question. If you had one piece of personal advice for a wife staff member, not relevant for your personal life, unsolicited, what would you give advice on a personal level?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I have a conversation with my mentor once a month. If any of you don't have a mentor, I would encourage you to find one and get one, pursue it.
I just wanted to add to what you're saying, because I think we have this conversation about mentors. We don't necessarily always define what that means, because it's not just, are you my mentor because you're somebody that I go to, to ask a question? Or are you my mentor because you're literally that person got to be, whether I'm right or wrong? And I would love for you to just speak on that as you go on that as you go.
Definitely. And so I think there's a plethora of authors that write about developing your inner circle, and your mentors. And what a mentor means to me is this inner circle. And I have about 5 people that I really go to at any given time and ask for their advice, for their wisdom, how they would handle certain situations, as well as just very practical steps, like, what would you really do in this situation? But one thing that my mentor, and this is kind of what has really grounded me in my leadership and in my day-to-day is he says, Brent, you always want to run the bases the right way. If you want a home run life, if you want a home run type of organization, if you want a home run team, then you got to run the bases the right way. And he said at the core of at home plate, picture that you have your mission, your dependency. For me, dependency on God, dependency on family and others, and coming back to the mission in this planet, which is to help others and inspire others. And I think so. That's in essence home plate for me. The other first, second, and third base is first base is character, second base is community, and third base is competence. And he said, Brett, very oftentimes you'll be challenged in business, you'll be challenged in leadership to run to third base and then try to run home. And you want to bypass character, you want to compromise character, you want to compromise your relationships just so you think that you can go to third base and come back and score. But he said, imagine a major leaguer getting up and running to third base first. He said, you look like an idiot, right? Now a kid, on the other hand, that's cute. If you're 5 or 6, running to third base, everybody claps and they laugh and they think it's cute. But we don't, as adults, as professionals, as leaders through a movement, we don't have that luxury. We are to run the bases the right way. So I think for me, I focus on character at the core. I make sure that my relationships are healthy. And then if I have character and I have healthy relationships, then I can get the results and I can have the hit my KPIs and my goals and my SMART goals and progress the organization forward. But without character and without community, I wouldn't expect that you can sustain your success. In fact, that's why you see many CEOs, many leaders of a movement or an organization or of a company fail because they lacked either character or they lacked those relationships and they lost the trust of others. And those are the stories that we read about, but for whatever reason, sometimes we don't apply those to our own work, and so we'll compromise and we may belittle somebody in the process. I remember having a conversation with our sports director one time, in their development, because I was in the same shoes as we have the goal of 300 or whatever it was, 500 basketball participants. And yes, they may have hit their goal, but in the process, they may have compromised a relationship or devalued a coach, or made a white lie or said a white lie. And so in the process, they may have hit their confidence goal. They may have hit their 300 participants, but did they really bring it back to home? Did they really score? Or did they just hit one base? And so I think for us as leaders, just like there's a holistic approach to health, there's this holistic approach to leadership. And without that recognition, if we just focus on results, if we just focus on the bottom line, then we're in a lot of danger, and we're running a huge risk for both ourselves and more importantly the company or the organization, and specifically in this case the why.
Wow, that was excellent. We appreciate your take on mentorship. We also appreciate your talk. That inspired me.
Yeah.
So we're introducing a new segment to our new real talk moment. For those of you that aren't familiar with the real talk moment, a real talk moment is slang. That's just honest. To introduce what the real talk is, throw it to my co-host.
Thank you there, Brother Carson. So, real talk. Self. Real talk moment. Real talk moment is that moment when you truly believe it. Something that you've learned from personal experience. but it's from personal experience. And I can provide like you would ask me. I think every real talk is positive, especially for who needs a reality. Sometimes a real talk moment something that you need to hit with. You may or may not agree with me. Look in the mirror, talking about you. So, Brent, about our real talk moment. So, our first ever real talk moment on the Leader Power Hour. You get the opportunity. You know, you've got that wonderful smile, that prestigious personality. But you know, get real with me here, brother. You ready? You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
So all three of us on this phone call right now, or on this live streaming here, we're classified as millennials, and this is, you know, we like to think of it as the age of millennials, and millennials are all about bucking the system, you know, doing it our own way, being who we are and being true to ourselves, and not compromising who we are for anyone, whether we're right or wrong. And we also know what the perception is there of millennials. So we love, you know, the perception out there could be that we love quick wins. You know, we are the now generation. We do it better, quicker, faster, we're smarter, you know, whatever the case may be. So all those perceptions out there exist. In your opinion, remember, real talk, in your opinion, is the most detrimental professional in the YMCA can do to extinguish his or her fire in their career before it even takes off. You know, you don't even get a chance to light the match and really get that fire going. You know, douse it with water before it takes off because what would you say is that most detrimental that a young professional, and not just the YMCA, whatever line of work you're in?
Definitely. So real talk, right? Real talk. I believe the most detrimental thing that specifically to the millennial generation that I believe that we can do is to feel like we deserve it. And that is deserving of, whether it be of position, of leadership, of relationship, of success, of just being here and on the face of this planet. At the end of the day, you know, I feel like for myself personally that I'm 27 and you know, I'm here working for the YMCA of the Rock River Valley and serving as COO, and I don't deserve one bit of it. In fact, it's a gift and it's an opportunity. And for us as millennial generations, if we want to inspire others and we want to live a dangerous and bold and courageous life, then we can't go each day thinking that we're, you know, hey, just give it to me because I'm here. I deserve it, and I think that's very dangerous for us, because I think for myself is and I know that I honestly I don't deserve one bit of whether it be my relationship with my wife, whether it be my career, whether it be my friends, my family. God has put and bless me in so many ways, and I think that for me and for us, what we can do is the blessings and the resources that we have available, and the friends and the family that we have, the way that we give back and the way that we show and we demonstrate that we don't just deserve it is that we hold tightly those things. We elevate, and we're not casual with our relationships. We're not, you know, nonchalant with our careers, with our organization, with our leadership. But that's precious, and that's important to us. And I think the way that we can show is that we're grateful and we're thankful for those opportunities and those relationships. And so millennials, I would just encourage you to pursue and look and look through the lens of humility every single day that you wake up in your career, and know that there are people around you, there are situations and circumstances that you can learn from. And as being the young professionals that we are, we get the opportunity to make mistakes early on in our career and do things that no one else could. And I would say take those risks, make decisions, be confident in those, but learn from it, be humble, and be willing to learn from all different directions. And learn from those that you lead, from those that lead you, and from those that lead with you. And I think that would, for my advice to millennials, that would be it.
Man,
As always, fantastic.
real talk, right? Drop the mic. Oh,
We really appreciate you guys on here. Andre, final words you want to say to the audience before we roll out?
hey, thank you all. I hope you all enjoy this. Please tweet #ELR. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you think about this. Is this helpful? Shout out to my guy Brent for being here with us. And I just want to very quickly recap, Brent, if you can, those 3 things that people need to focus on. Character, is that correct?
Yep.
Healthy relationships.
Character. Yep. Community.
Yep. Go ahead, say it. You say it.
And competence. Yeah. Character, community, and competence. And then if you want to have a home run race, drive it all back to mission and your purpose here. And for me, that is helping, inspiring others, and dependency on God and faith. And so what is that home run life to you? There's also, just as a resource, there's a great book out there. It's actually called Home Run Life, and my mentor and I go through it at each and every session. In fact, he asked me how is character, how is competence, how's our community. So I would maybe if you're really interested in that kind of home run lifestyle, look it up. Home Run Life. It's written by Kevin Myers and John Maxwell. They co-authored the book.
Awesome.
Just a reminder, this TV show no way endorses any product that is not paid for or.
Well, we need for that one running across the bottom. Yes.
Oh, that's great.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Carson, my partner, brother, we've been working on this for a long time, so I thank you for your partnership as well. Hey, again, tweet. #ELR Nation.
So, on that note, we just want to say
That's awesome.
does it again. We've got you the brand new first ever 45-minute long broadcast. We'll figure out how to make the time work later, but who cares about that? This is fun. This is fun. Hope you tune in next time. The conversation is going to get real. The conversation is going to be fun. The conversation is going to be helpful for you. And hopefully the country to learn more about ask questions outside of the window, but look for our Touchpoint Tuesday that's coming to you live. Sign up through the through the YMCA Exchange, and make sure to keep it real and run those bases. This is Andre and Carson signing off today. First ever national ELRN Power Hour broadcast.